Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, the Bitcoin price chart, the altcoin market, the XRP price chart. Of course, take a look over there at the stock market as the stock market is opening up right now as we speak. Take a look over there at gold and silver, and of course, that US dollar currency index. It just has no quit left in it. And we'll see what kind of financial news is going on out there. Really, it's one thing in the news that is dominating the front page of everything, all of crypto news, all of financial media, and that is the start of the Sam Bankman-Fried trial that is beginning today. So that's really just kind of the headline everywhere currently right now. But let's take a look over here at the markets as we are getting open today over there with the stock market and here with the crypto market. So Bitcoin about flat today. So we were back at $27,500 today. We've looked, of course, at this. We've talked all about this stuff and just the correlation of timing and incredible behavior of Bitcoin in here and the breakouts. We're reaching kind of the end of a period where we'll see what happens if we can go ahead and get a breakout to a new price level. We'll take a look over there at broader markets to show how prices are behaving in here and just kind of like still on edge, right? Of course, we all know this. We know that if we go through the history of past recoveries for Bitcoin right here on the left, I've got current time period. This is all of 2021, 2022, and here we are in 2023. This is going to be your 2017 bull run, 2018, 19, and 20. This is going to be 2013 bull run, 2014, 2015, and 16 recovery. So essentially we have 2023, 2019, and 2015 over here. We could see how we've gotten in here. You could see this is the magnitude of the retrace that we've seen so far for Bitcoin. We, of course, see tons of analysis out there all over Twitter comparing us to 2019, which we are not even remotely close to. A closer correlation would put us having already hit over $50,000. But we could see an extreme correlation here in price action and behavior to how we were back in 2015 and 2016, just with where we're at currently right now. Lots of calls out there for us to break lower. I've presented the cases in there. If we take out a support level, that would be the first time of a support level being taken out after a recovery had already begun. Likely a sign for bigger concerns than just saying, hey, we're going down to 23K and then we go off onto a moon mission. It'd be very inconsistent with past behavior. But of course, we have a lot of chaotic action happening out there in the stock market and with the US dollar currency index. Of course, everything's on edge. Yesterday, we did see a big fall over there in silver. So we'll take a look at that too. Not that it really matters or for this YouTube channel in particular, but I wanted to show some correlations happening in there with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which we have right here. Of course, this thing's been in this big pullback. All eyes on the next low to see if the next low gets taken or if that's the one that ends up holding in here. A little bit of a mix as the opening happens, mostly in the red, but you do have NVIDIA slightly in the green there as the market's just opened up 3 minutes ago. Coinbase, the loser of the day, down 1.9% with Tesla and Ford. Winner of the day at this point, NVIDIA, which is down 0.02%, so mostly red throughout the whole market. We can see that the Dow is down 145 points to open the day, which is about 0.44%, with the S&P down 0.5%, and the NASDAQ down 0.6%. Slight recovery over there on silver, but of course the show-stopping mover is that DXY or US dollar currency index is still rampaging in there. So some of the things to look at in here, of course, as we've seen, this is, for me, this is like the utmost importance, right? We have to hold this low. I think I've presented all the data possible to show that breaking below this low, which a million bajillion people are calling for, and would be inconsistent with any type of recovery to go do something like that, it would spell significant problems for Bitcoin if we do take out that $24.7 thousand level in there. Now, being cautious right now because, well, we know if we're going to march up, we've followed time perfectly. You can practically put little boxes on here to show, here's your peak. You could show where these rallies all take place at, where these peaks all come in at. The timing of these is practically insane. And then even to go into the breakout and leave that range, these things are happening at the exact same time. We're now within like a week of where, hey, it's time to start that march if that timing is going to continue. If we go breaking down lower, whoops, something has changed. Is it impossible to break lower? Well, we can look over here at broader markets to say, hey, like it's time to like be on edge about it, right? We shouldn't, right? We shouldn't. If Bitcoin's going to go into recovery, if Bitcoin's going to play its whole little, recovery, and it's going to do what it does before it goes into these block reward halvings. It's going to do what it does in these cycles, and it's going to keep marching up like it always does. Like everybody tells us that we're on a 4-year cycle and we're on a block reward halving situation here. We shouldn't go lower. We should march up. But if something happens and we go lower, bigger cause for concern. And the thing I wanted to show you is just looking at the Dow, right? We have some concerns. Crypto has held together very well. Keep that in mind. It has held well, very, very well. But like we add on things like if we take a look at like silver here, if it wants to load for me, we can see that silver has held this whole time and now has broken down into these lows. We can see that the stock market has broken down into these lows, but we see Bitcoin hasn't. We see that Bitcoin has still maintained these and not broken down into these lows. However, we have seen that metals have, we've seen that silver has, and we've seen that the Dow Jones Industrial Average has. So being on caution is something definitely to be, because we have it happening in other aspects of the market. Whether or not it's going to end up being, none of that matters, BCB. We are doing block reward halvings and all that stuff. Okay, fair enough. That argument is valid. But I just don't think anybody who has that thesis realizes the requirement here is that 24.7 does hold. If it loses it and does go crumbling down, there would be bigger problems. But I wanted to show you this because of how many people do have this thesis that we somehow go back down to these lows once again, and that's all fine and dandy. That the correlations between these two are unequivocally not the same. But you do have some very serious similarities happening over here to 2015 and 16. But if we do go breaking down to kind of watch out seriously. And we do have some warning signs of that over there in the Dow Jones, and we do have some over here in metals like silver. So definitely looking for a balance to come out of there to alleviate those concerns, but they're still going to remain there, right? Right now, everything's fine. It's holding up very fine. We're not getting signals in crypto that things are trouble. We got green over here. You got Solana that's been just cranking it lately. You got Chainlink that's been cranking it lately back up to the top of its range. These things have been doing very well. We're not seeing signs of distress happening here in crypto at all. But we do see signs elsewhere. And so just to kind of keep those in mind, those signs are there. If distress makes its way to crypto, we saw some other signs happening in here. So I'm definitely on edge at this point at all times, knowing these things are going on in macro markets, but we're not seeing it happening in crypto. And you have just kind of caution out there how much messaging out there is that we are like 2019. We are absolutely nothing like 2019. The reason why this brings up that concern, if we do go breaking lower, of course, is all the things that we've talked about for the last several years. And I've gone on the BitBoy Crypto YouTube channel, taking a wild shot and saying, I don't think we're setting a new all-time high. You guys have heard that on the channel 100 times. Their jaws dropped. I think that was the first time I went on the show over a year and a half ago, and said, no, I don't think we're ever not anytime soon going to see an all-time high, at least for Bitcoin. However, if it continues to maintain itself like this, there's no evidence yet that we won't, if it does this. But if it takes out 24.7, I would think it pretty much locks it in stone. But otherwise, you actually still do have a completely normal recovery for Bitcoin that has already begun its trek upwards. The thing that would change that is the breakdown. And so we are seeing those things happening like over here in the Dow, and we see that happening over here in silver. And like, let's do something like this, just to keep our eyes on it, right? Let's see if we can get this thing lined up nicely. And so what you can see here is that markets were moving very cleanly together. So in the purple, we actually have Bitcoin in here. In the bars, we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And here in yellow or orange, we have silver. And you can see these moves all really kind of happening at the exact same time. Market breathes in and breathes out at the same time. Then crypto has the FTX moment, right? It's where we deviate away from it, right? Then we start to kind of regain again. We start to get back into the moments of everything kind of working together again. And then now here you go. We have two of them starting to dip lower. Now the difference between these, right? One thing to kind of like, I've been staring at this and saying, okay, is this the big sign, right, that they're happening, that we're seeing this in silver and we're seeing this in the Dow? Is it giving us the very clear signal that it's going to go down? One, we can't say it will because it's doing what it's supposed to do. This is exactly what it's supposed to do. But like we always say, if it takes out the lows and it starts breaking down into the range again, that's unlike any recovery. But the other thing is, we know that both of these assets have both gotten really high. And even the pull down that you see here on the Dow, it's taken it back over here to May of 2022 pricing. Still, even Bitcoin hasn't gotten that high yet, so it still hasn't even regained that level. So it's hard to say, but keeping an eye on it that these two have gone into the plunge. We haven't seen it happen over there in Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, if anything, we should hopefully be within a week of prices starting to move up in Bitcoin. But if those things happen, I'll probably be reacting to it, especially if we see Bitcoin break 24.7 thousand. I am not going to listen to a single word that these people who are screaming that's bullish, that's part of the 2019 setup like this. I'm not listening to that for half of a second at all. I'll be much more concerned about Bitcoin big time, that it actually is much more like Ethereum. The thing that you would, Ethereum from 2018, where this was really just the first bounce that ended up happening in here, and then this thing goes rolling over. But okay, I wanted to show you that we have those things that have been happening over there with silver and with the Dow. We have not seen any of those types of signs yet from crypto. Crypto's been holding up well, and if anything, we're almost at time for something big to happen. But to be cautious, to not let the guard down just because we have some fractal that it's been behaving perfectly on time with the whole time. That also at the same time, we do have things happening out there in the stock market. We have things happening with things like precious metals. So just kind of keeping an eye on all of it. Still going to be intense throughout the week. And hopefully by next week, we're all kind of laying that guard down a little bit and things have started getting exciting over here with Bitcoin and with the rest of the cryptocurrency market. But definitely would like to see some recovery start to emerge over here in the broader markets, and to see this DXY go ahead and have some chill. So this morning, it actually did hit a 50% retracement. So this is a level we've been to before, right back here in November of 2022. Nailing that 50% retracement. You can look at it on like smaller time frames. There are some bearish divergences that have begun to emerge in here as we are back at it. Hard to say if we're looking at the DXY could just trick you left and right. Look at all these divergences in here. Oh yeah, big pullback. Then it ends up going, right? So hard to say that there's much there in regards to a 2-hour bearish divergence. The thing that we do see though is just how overbought it is. It's really gotten pretty high. So I was looking back at this. The last time we got this high was back here at the peak. And then prior to that was really this time period right back over here. So, whether there's anything to read in regards to the DXY being overbought or not, we are at least at a technical level. Like we mentioned last week, there was no real technical level for 106, that it's not really any marker on here to signify anything, except that when you go back and you look at like when the .com bubble popped, there was a lot of price action that happened here, and then the breaking through it in here was when we capitulated. The breaking back down through it is when we rallied off the lows. But there's just been so much price reaction here at 106, and again, we're seeing that a lot throughout markets currently right now. But today, we actually have reached a technical level, at least for the DXY, and that's at the 50% retracement level. We are seeing it pull back a little bit. Maybe we're going to get some relief here and finally see this thing start to pull back. Looks like markets are doing a little bit better as the day is getting kicked off and going. It looks like the Dow is now down only 76 points. The S&P is down 16 points, and the NASDAQ is down 74. So down 0.5%, 0.4, and 0.25. So this will be a watch today because it is actually at a technical level. 106 is not a technical level. It's just a level that we've seen a lot of reaction at. DXY technically is at a level today to pay attention to. So that'll be a focus today. And we are seeing that Bitcoin is actually doing okay this morning as the day is now getting kicked off and the markets are opening. And we're seeing more green emerge over here in the cryptocurrency market. So things are looking okay to start the day. Got XRP up there at 51.2 cents this morning. Gold, metals. Let's take a look at silver too. So here we go. Gold, it's pulled back down to a recent support. So hey, we hit a support level with the DXY at 50%. Fingers crossed. Let's hope that's it. Looking over here at silver. Silver, wild day. Man, I was just watching this thing on the 1 minute yesterday. Just look at this thing. Just no relief on silver. This thing just went straight down. Absolutely incredible. I did scoop up a few ounces of silver. I waited all day yesterday. Here's a little trick. So why I watch it on the 1 minute. You guys know I'm long-term silver tracker. I've even had a silver YouTube channel. The cool thing about buying metals is that you can buy them on websites and you can kind of lock in a price, and there'll be like a timer that starts ticking, and the timer will start ticking for 10 minutes. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll know exactly what I want to buy, and then I'll let the 10-minute timer start to tick away, and I'll be at checkout, ready to check out, and let the timer just keep going and going and going. If price doesn't move that much, I let the timer run out, and then it locks in a new price, and then the timer will keep going and going and going. And essentially just waited all day, let that timer keep resetting itself. We're talking like this timer kept resetting itself for, 8 hours all day. Finally, price gets all the way back down here. It gets its first really big bounce. My price was locked in down here at like $20.80. And then that was when I finally went ahead and pulled the trigger on it at $20.80 to lock it in. The premiums were insane. And like premiums, like people, like I watch other YouTube videos, like nobody's buying metals anymore. Everybody's selling. They're running to the coin shops and they're selling their silver. They're selling their gold. And due to that, those premiums are falling. So what did we have? Of course, in the silver and metals market with retail, what did they do? They YOLO'd in and bought the top. And then, of course, they come in and they dump the bottom. So premiums are down to $1.99 for Britannias, which was incredible. So I scooped up a bunch of Britannias. But anyway, I thought that was interesting to see that not only are we seeing prices go very deep here in metals, we're seeing the premiums fall at the same time. We're watching retail capitulate, right? That's what that means, right? When you see the premiums finally falling, that means retail has no interest anymore, and retail is selling as much as they can, getting out. And so, me, I'm gonna take advantage of that. So, all right, there you go. 30-year long-dated yields up again. These things just won't stop. These things are getting real close. Look at that. You got the 20-year crossing above 5% today. So remember, the federal funds rate's at 5.25 to 5.5. We've had the shorter-dated bills stuck at those prices for, I don't know, let's take a look. 6 months, maybe it feels like 6 months. Dating back to May, June, July, August, September, October, 5 months, we've had these yields stuck right here at the federal funds rate. Look at this, unwavering here on the 1 month. The story is the same for all of these things, really. 4 month, 2 month, I'm sure. They just have gone flat, right? They've caught up to the federal funds rate, and then they've just chilled. Now we're finally getting these longer dated yields starting to try to catch up and catch to the federal funds rate. So I'm sure that inversion is starting to curve back. 5-year getting close to it, but boy, look at that 20-year. The 20-year is all above 5% now. But the crazy thing is, I can't imagine. Could you imagine locking into a 20-year treasury? I don't know. They get for 5%. Could you do it? I don't know. But okay. Dow Jones now it's improving. So we're seeing improvements in the market as we are getting going. Dow is now down only 57 points. The DXY still, it's right there at that 50%. We'll see how that ends up going today. It's a 50% retracement of the entire move that is happening here. We are finally at a technical level. We'll see how this responds today. Bitcoin's still holding up okay. Of course, we're all looking towards next week to see if this thing is still going to act right on schedule like it has for 2.5 years, right? April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Imagine that, 2 years and 6 months. How many months is that? 30 months. 30 months of perfect timing nearly to the day on each particular phase. We'll see if that continues to play out true. But we do know there are some warning shots fired out there in the stock market, precious metals, and the DXY, and not going to let the guard down. But maybe that's what we see, right? Maybe that's how you get here. Maybe there's some big, massive rejection that comes in on the DXY right here, and that's the thing that finally sets this thing into motion to get that going. We'll see, but hopefully by next week, that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking to next week to see if we can start getting some movement here on Bitcoin, if timing is going to have any continued correlation as it has. But we're there, and you can clearly see price is actually right where it is supposed to be, even in comparison to the past, unlike 2019 through 2020, which, of course, why does this get referenced? Because everybody's in fear. Everybody's worried. We're going to talk about crashing and burning. But the reality is we're acting very similar to 2015, 2016, and we're literally right where we're supposed to be with price, with how long we've been in here for 2.5 years. So, all right, that's what we're watching for Bitcoin. Keep an eye on the stock market. A little bit of bouncing back happening here to start the day. Bigger bounce happening over there in metals. Let's look at that again. Looks like we're getting a decent bounce happening over here in silver now. We'll take that. Dominance is unchanged, still the same story, right? We've been talking about the safety trade dominance versus Bitcoin dominance. My thoughts are these things have topped. We've had these drawings on here for months at this point, and we'll just kind of keep them there until things change or play out the way anticipated to happen in here and structurally the way they are set up. So not a whole lot to say about these in here. The big watch is to see if we can continue up over the next week for Bitcoin. And it looks like, hey, look at that. We do have some green emerging over here in the stock market as the day is getting going, with Coinbase now back in the green. As for cryptos, we do have more green in the market this morning, with your leader of the day being Solana, Matic, and everybody's favorite EOS, but Chainlink as well. Chainlink and Cardano. I think that covers everything when it comes to the charts. Oh, XRP. We take a look over here at XRP. The thing about XRP, of course, is it's going to be a difficult one, and I think we're really just having to wait for the broader market conditions to play itself out. We know that we've done a complete retrace. It's been a while since we looked at this. I figured we'd talk about it today. You could see as Bitcoin completely failed to get a breakout, so did XRP. It's a waiting game. Still, the caution resides there. If Bitcoin breaks, XRP would probably follow along. Hard pill to swallow for most. It's mostly about flipping the switch and the secret magic of underground conspiracies that go on out there. But the reality is the condition we need price move up for Bitcoin, and that's what's good for XRP. As we can see, no price up in Bitcoin, which we did have in this condition. No price move up for XRP. If we want a big move to happen in XRP, you likely need to have it happening on this guy, Bitcoin. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I get it. But the thing is, that's just how markets do work. And it's not like it's just crypto. I mean, it's the same story when you're looking at broader markets, when you're looking at the stock market, right? You're going to have big rallies happening for all these things at the exact same time, right? I mean, the whole market rallied in 2021. Was one company super successful and that's the reason they went up? No, it's just the market breathes in. So everything moves together, and it's just normal, guys, right? So that's a condition that we need over there for Bitcoin. Fortunately, we're kind of approaching a time where something like that could emerge, where some price breathing in could happen in here. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, that's what we end up seeing. It would bring me no better pleasure than to watch the 12Kers cry. Sorry, guys. Not sorry. All right. So, all right, looking at markets today. So there you go. Dow down 60 points. Just a little bit of improvement. NASDAQ really bouncing back. Now down only 0.19%. Let's look at that. Like a 1 minute pop. Yeah, pretty good pop over there for the NASDAQ as the day is getting going. So, all right. So we've got improvements happening over here. And we do have more green emerging over here in the stock market as the day is getting going. And more green emerging over here in crypto as the morning is getting going. Thing to keep an eye on here is the DXY have reached a technical level to take a chill pill. That would be ideal. All right, moving on to news. The news of the day is going to be this SBF trial. Where are you? Hot stories. Oh, don't tell me you're not going to cover it over here. Sam Bankman-Fried. How about we go to CNBC? Oh, CNBC, Sam Bankman-Fried. How about we go to Bloomberg? Oh, Sam Bankman-Fried. It is everywhere. This is the main story of the day throughout financial media. And so we're going to see where this all goes, right? So from what I understand, this trial is expected to last about 21 days. So I don't know if there's going to be like a painting of financial media on crypto. What is the, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to come of all of this, what the media messaging is going to be, how we're going to come out the end of this, what the result for Sam Bankman-Fried is, or if it's going to, anything. But I mean, like you look, what are the headlines happening in financial media right now? The crypto fraud case against Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried friends and family were along for FTX's rise and crypto's first year after the FTX blow up. It's been miserable. The $8 billion Sam Bankman-Fried criminal trial starts today. What's at stake and how we got here? FTX customers who lost a fortune on the bankrupt exchange are doubling down on crypto. Okay. Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF trial, FTX founder gets his day in court as jury selection begins. So there you go. That's the real big headline today. I don't think we're going to really get any other major news. Again, markets just breathe in and breathe out. I think a lot of the news that we look at when it comes to financial media or even crypto media is just to fill some time and make some excuses for why price is doing what it's doing. I don't think there's really any other stories that would have the potential to make any type of waves in crypto than the FTX trial. And clearly, if we're getting on the front page of CNBC here, the front page of Bloomberg here, this is the market mover if there is such thing as news that would influence the market. I'm not in that camp. I'm watching this. I'm looking at broader markets. I'm watching structure. How we've acted in previous recoveries happening in here. These are the things I'm focused on. I think this is really just something to occupy our time. Some drama. There's a lot of angry people about FTX. So this maybe some. What's the word? I don't know. Justice served, right? So that important to them. I personally, to this day, and this is not to be insensitive, I don't know anybody who's used FTX. I even saw Jungle Inc. do a poll and asked people, have you ever used FTX? And less than 1% of people said they did. So I'm not sure if it's like just in the United States, it wasn't really used very much. But I personally never used it. So, all right. That's the big news of today is Sam Bankman-Fried trial starts. So that'll be pretty much all over Twitter. That'll be your YouTube content that you will get fed by YouTubers for the next 3 weeks is what's going on with Sam Bankman-Fried probably. And otherwise, we're just waiting on markets to react, and hopefully we can get something here. This would be interesting to see if some of this gets credited to that trial or something like that. But just kind of knowing into it, we kind of see this stuff. We'll see how this reacts. We know what broader markets are doing. We know what we should be doing in cryptocurrency right now and in Bitcoin right now. We'll see if a nice little narrative gets painted along to go with something like that. Otherwise, it looks like as the day gets kicked off, we'll go back to the stock market one more time. The DXY finally has reached a technical level, 50% in retracements, which I don't know if this is where it's going to stop, but in retracements, 50% is a technical level where a reversal can happen. It's unlikely that it's uncommon to see them at 382s. We do see them. We actually even saw it with Bitcoin right here. This is like a 382, but that's very uncommon, right? So it gets just a hairline above it. Very uncommon to go 382. However, 50% is a common retracement level. Should it break through there? Of course, you got another one way up there. The DXY, not the most responsive we'll go back and look. Let's see if we have any historical basis to see a 50% retracement that got rejected. Maybe this one. Okay. That's 50% on this one right here. So there has been times where 50% of the move pulled back, caused the turnover. And that's where we are currently right now. So we'll see if we can get some love. Oh, it just shoots right back through it. In like 2 seconds, it shoots through it. So I don't know. Something just happened in markets for it to fire up in 1 minute. Look at that 1 minute firing happening there in the DXY. How's that possible? Something just happened. We need to let's see what happened in the news. Let me see if I can find it. How do you do that in 1 minute? Something happened. Look at this 1 minute candle. Crazy. News release jolts. Jobs data. Okay, let's go look. Job openings. Okay, so we got quite a bit of job openings. But isn't that what the market wants? A survey done by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics helped measure job vacancies. It collects data from employers about their businesses, employment, job openings, recruitment, hires, and separations. JOLTS defines job openings as all positions that are open and not filled on the last business day of the month. A job is open only if it meets all 3 of the following conditions. A specific position exists and there's work available for that position. The job could start within 30 days, whether or not the establishment finds a suitable candidate during that time, and there's an active recruiting for workers from outside the establishment location that has the opening. A reading that is stronger than forecasted is generally supportive or bullish for the United States dollar, while a weaker than forecast reading is generally negative or bearish for the USD. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can pull this up. Here you go. 9.61 versus forecast of 8.8. So when we had the August 29th reading, it was a big miss, right? We were below 9.46 and we came in at 8.82. That's now been modified and corrected to 8.92. Let's go see what the market response was on August 29th with the DXY. What did the DXY do on August 29th on a miss? What time did that data come out? Probably would have time 10. So that would have been. What time are we right now? UTC time. We're at 1400. There we go. Yep, fire down on the miss. So you see the fire down on the miss, and then you see the fire up on the miss to the upside. So there you go. We're through a technical level. They did it with economic data, job openings. So there you go. All right. Well, we'll see if that continues there, but there you go. You just got some data to come out, and that fired it right through. And then we get a turnaround in the stock market immediately. 167 over there. Down 170 for the Dow Jones, down 30 for the S&P, and down 131 for the NASDAQ, down 0.8%. So we had a red opening that recovered, that then just went back to red after we have more job openings. That's bizarre, right? It's just bizarre. Mr. D says the Dow Jones to 31,750 to test the 200 moving average. Yeah, I mean, I've looked at moving averages. I don't see significant response to it, right? Like if it reacted to it, we'll pull it up. We'll add all of them on there. So there's your dailies. It's through all of its dailies, but is that unusual? It's been like a washing machine through them already. Let's go to the weeklies. You've just now gotten through your 50 and your 100. To test this, right? So he's saying we're going to 200 week to test it. My thoughts are, if we're going down here, I think we've already started the Great Depression. If we've gone down here, those are my thoughts. Like the bubble's popped. If we're going that low. Nelson J says 12K. Thank you, Nelson. We couldn't do it without you, bud. Yeah, no, I think if we go down there, I mean, because then, like, you could sit here and argue and be like, all right, look, this is kind of a bull flag, right? Is this technically one large move up together, right? And you say, okay, look, like, here's a flow, there's a flow, and this is just kind of a midpoint stop along the way in a flow, and taking out this particular wave, you could argue it and you could debate it and say, but we go take that one out. We've like certainly have lower lows that have emerged here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and I just challenge anybody to find a situation in here where that's going to be okay. I don't see one in here. If we go down and touch the 200-week moving average again, just visualize this thing. What? I don't think so, man. I can't imagine that. That won't be my thoughts. This will look very much like a bubble pop. That this was a retracement, and that was it. Big Shroom says, I am the FUD. So, okay, let's see here. DXY coming off of job opening data, just plowing through the 50%. Literally, as we're talking about it being at the technical level, we get the data coming out there that just shot its way up there. So there you go. There you have it. We'll see how this thing continues on from here as the day gets kicked off. But again, another bad sign for the stock market out there, with the Dow now down 242 points. Again, these are the early, very big warning signs here for the Dow Jones Industrial Average that we're continuing to shuffle down. Continue taking out more lows, 32,600. You're really setting yourself up that these are the markers of what happens after a retracement is complete, and the things that we've talked about. So 401k holders and all that stuff. I want to have a conversation with your financial advisors at this point. If this thing keeps up what it's doing. Show you kind of examples here. Your current location would put you approximately right here. All right, let's use a different color. Approximately right there, right? So, if the thing keeps going, he thinks it's going to the 200-week moving average. I'd be by the time you got to 200-week moving average, I'd be sitting there screaming, "This thing's done for," and it sure is moving quick. So keep a close eye on it, you guys. As for Bitcoin, it's holding up okay, but it has shifted back down. It hasn't gone down more than $200. It's now down $90. It's at 27,417 as the day kicks off after the job openings data comes out, where there suddenly is a bunch of job openings available. It's kind of bizarre, but okay, fair enough. This is the thing we'll be watching moving forward for the next week, and hopefully we see some type of reversal happening in the DXY. Again, you go break down 24.7. Right, guys, I'm never going to tell you what to do. I'm never going to tell you to buy. I'm never going to tell you to sell, but I'll show you the data, which I continue to do. Good luck. You can listen to everybody telling you that we're doing 2019. Show me where this is 2019. I don't see it even remotely close. If we go take out 24/7 and we lose that range that we're in, it's likely a signifying bad situation for Bitcoin. But as of right now, we're still right on track, right on time. And hopefully by next week, we actually just continue up and this DXY just takes a dang chill pill. And maybe this was just a data reaction. We'll see. Otherwise, let's take a look at crypto one last time before we hop into the chat. Half of it green, half of it red. Bitcoin's down 0.22%, less than 0.25%. It's down $61. The stock market's the one that's taking the big shellacking today over there, as the DXY is at 107.22. It did just come back and hit that 50%. We'll see what happens here. We'll maybe keep an eye on this right now as we go through the chat. Dow down 186. Silver up slightly. Silver doesn't seem to be crumbling on itself just yet. Here we go. Now dipping back below that. Hopefully that was a fake out with data. We'll see. We'll keep our eyes on it as we hop into the chat. Bitcoin 27,400. XRP 51 cents. Let's go. DXY get crumbling. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Goodbye. Get out of here. All right. All right. Let's not celebrate too soon, though. Okay. All right. That's where we're at. So obviously some volatility. We're back at the 50% retracement here for the DXY. We obviously just saw it break out on the 1 minute time period as some economic data came out in there. And then now we saw it just come right back down. We'll see what happens with the trend. We're looking at 1 minute candles. These are 5 minute candles. Sorry. This is dumb. We're looking to be sitting here making big decisions on 5 minute candles. This is dumb. But this is, obviously we know where we are. We're on the bigger time frame. This is over the course of the last year. Back at 50%, as I just showed you. We have seen 50% retracements before on even bigger time frames, and this was the place where things did stop at. We'll see if that ends up being the case for us here today, as we get some wacky, wild stuff going on in here. But okay, there you go. That's what's up. News today is all about Sam Bankman free trial starting, and we'll keep our eyes on that and whatever. All-time high incoming confirmed. 1 minute chart. All-time high confirmed. All right, guys, let's hop into the chat. Before we get started, guys, if you could, hit the like button. It's the number one way to support the channel. I always appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Gator, right out the gates with 5 BCB memberships. So we got to get a live stream in pretty soon. It's been busy, just going out of town and all that stuff. We'll try to get one in in the next couple of days for members only. I wonder where Oscar is. He's usually number one right out the gates, like every single day. You beat him today, Gator. Thank you very much. Pat, my man, gifted 10. I appreciate it, brother. Crypto Maximus. Does TLT look like crashing structure finishing wave 7? Also, what is your opinion on TLT and reversal implication for broader markets? I don't know why anybody is first of all, this yields, right? So the Fed is in control of that. right? Whatever the Fed determines to be the interest rate is where that thing is going to go. If the Fed keeps raising interest rates, then that thing is going to keep crashing and crumbling. I saw TXMC or Alpha Beta Soup even post like, everybody wants to like catch the legitimate bottom of that thing. Why doesn't anybody just wait for the Fed to cut? I mean, once the Fed begins its cutting cycle, to get that, you know what I mean? I don't know why everybody's trying to snag the bottom on that thing. But I agree with that. I don't think there's any reason to pull that up because it's just going to be dictated by what the rates are. Yeah. But you're not the only one. I don't know why there is such huge interest with everybody trying to catch the bottom of that thing. It's interesting. I think it stems from that same behavior of everybody thinking the Fed's going to cut. That thing's not reversing until the Fed cuts. Right? And when the Fed cuts, we're all doomed. Hey, BCB, did you ever get a chance to check out those mint passes I gave you at the proper party? I have not had a chance, but I still have them. But I have not had a chance. I think it gave me like 7 of them. But I haven't had a chance yet. But thank you, X Fox. What's up? Dylan Kerr. So if we continue 2015's run up, does that mean we won't see alts move until Bitcoin peaks from a year from right now? So my thesis is we are not going to end up, when it's all said and done, we won't end up seeing a new all-time high for Bitcoin. As of right now, it is, but I don't think it's going to. If it did, then yes, you wouldn't see the explosion in altcoins happen until you got all the way back to the all-time high if we're going to continue acting like we always have. My theory has been this is nothing more than a retrace, and into the retrace is where we see it. And potentially this could be it, right? This could be where the late October, right? And I'm not going to predict time because I'm going to get it wrong. But that's how quick it could happen. That you shoot up here, you have a 30-day altcoin season or something like that, and it's all over. And like I explained in yesterday's video, I was talking about how in 2021, the market was ridiculously fearful in here. If nobody is explaining it to you that it was this way, they weren't here. Sorry, straight up. They weren't here, or they were part of the same thing. They all sold out here waiting for lower prices, and they bought back in and FOMO'd, and then they never figured out what happened throughout all this, which I know happened because I was here. But essentially, right, the market was just like it is now, super panicky, super fearful. The market crawled up here. The market didn't trust it the whole way up. The participants didn't trust it. The FOMO didn't happen until it broke out into the all-time high. And then when it broke out into the all-time high, that's where people believed in it. And then finally, we had our first big correction. In here, a lot of participants thought it may be over yet, but didn't quite know. It wasn't like what we had right in here. But essentially, you had a bunch of people pour in, right? So a bunch of people pour into the market right in here. And then we hit our top and it's over. So what happens is panic and fear. I don't trust it. Okay, we're an all-time high. I'm going to buy it. And then just a couple of months later, a month and a half later, okay, guys, that's it. I'm completing my 65% exit plan. We're about at the top of Bitcoin. What are you talking about, BCB? We just started. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We didn't just start. It's just that you sold here. You didn't buy back till here. And you missed the biggest percentages of it all. You probably sold during COVID. You bought back in FOMO. You washed yourself out. You bought back in. You washed yourself out. You weren't willing to do it the whole way. Then it broke out in the all-time high, and you bought it, and then it was over. And it's just, it happens in lightning speed. And people say, where was the parabola? Where was the parabola in Bitcoin? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What do you mean, where's the parabola? What are you talking about? It was a parabola. So yeah. Anyway, it could happen lightning fast, right? So just keep that in mind. We'll see. I don't think we'll see. If we start a whole new cycle, right? If you're gonna act like this and you're gonna act all like this, and it is gonna keep on going like that, then yes. You likely wouldn't see anything with significant movements with the altcoin market until you got into a new all-time high for Bitcoin. My thesis of this market is that this is like your Ethereum 2018, that you still have more working up to do to get there before it's over. But if you take out 24.7, if you take out $24,700, I'm dead serious, until proven otherwise, my thoughts are going to be that Bitcoin is going all the way down to sub $3,000. Yep. None of this 12K stuff, none of this 23K, none of this 20K. Definitely not 12K. Silliest thing in the world. All of you guys are following an Anon on Twitter who hasn't given you any reasoning for why 12K. Literally none of them have. You're following Anons on the internet. To go to 12K is just silly. If we break 24K, you really open up the door that this thing is going to be a long, painful process for Bitcoiners, and the narrative and the magic and fantasy of Bitcoin will likely die. BCB, why so gloomy? That's nothing new. That's I've been preaching that for years. So, okay. A guy with 3 first names says, hauling asphalt for today for work. Does anyone know of a time machine so I can go back to 2009 and accumulate? I don't want to work anymore, LOL. Or can we all just have a time machine and go back to the first time we ever heard about Bitcoin? And we said to that person who told us, like, you're an idiot. I'm not buying that. You're dumb. Can we all go back to that time and not call that guy an idiot and have bought? M. Stolovic says, feels like crypto is finally trying to catch up with stocks. Otherwise, I really don't get how it's not moving with the Dow, or is this time different? In ranges, we can have a lot of different behavior between the Dow. And we definitely saw that happen. Have I lost my stuff? We definitely saw a lot of that happening in after FTX. We just were not correlated with the Dow particularly much anymore. But the major thing for crypto and to go into new all-time highs is for the Dow Jones to set new all-time highs. And right now, this needs to be the concern for a lot of people, I hope. You do whatever the heck you want to do. This is the concern for me, right? And we need to see some recovery in here, or this thing could start spiraling out of control really fast for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I've talked to people. I've talked to family members. They won't do anything. I've tried to save college funds for people. I've tried to save retirement funds for people. They're not going to listen. They're going to listen here. If that's the next phase to end up showing up in here for the Dow, that's where we're finally gonna get some response from family members. And I pray to God we're not in a moment that is like this right here, or it'll be devastating. Again, just to give you a wave count on where we're at. Right? You see it? Double tap on top of the high, double tap on top of the high, right? Violent breakout, violent backtest into the bull flag, violent breakout, violent backtest into the bull flag, high, high, retrace, caution. Caution is put into place now because we saw the lower low get set. So caution, caution. DXY still underneath that 50% after that wick that happened right there from that economic data. Bitcoin 27,396. Dow 33,1. Let's go here. Dow down 286 points down to 33,147. So no bueno for Dow. No bueno for Dow. I'll see if we can diagonal trend line this bad boy. Yeah, it's dumb. No. Okay. Hey everybody, the DXY is negative for the day. Just kidding. That was a brief moment in time, though, wasn't it? that was interesting to see the DXY in red. Haven't seen that in a long time. Okay. Andy Philpott, what's your thoughts on Link? Well, again, Link's back at the top of the range again. It has done this 100 times. What are we at? Over 500 days for Chainlink in that range. And it just doesn't want to seem to escape yet. So how about we go ahead and escape? If we do escape, the big area of concern for me, of course, will be all back in here, like 13 to 15 bucks. See how it behaves there. Because what we consistently have seen, we've seen this be a reactionary level. We've seen a lot of stuff the stuff that has gone ahead and shot back up has really been getting stopped out by this area. So that'd be the first concern. Right. If we see the whole market moving up, if we see things like, Bitcoin Cash was the first one to get up there, but it shot up like 300%, got here. It's still hovering up underneath that support level for Bitcoin Cash. Hopefully it gets its breakout. But everything that has had a chance to fire up, this is the consistent place it keeps getting paused up. Jazz D, can you explain the Bitcoin dominance chart? At which stage you expect alt season to happen? If it rises or when it falls? Dominance, when it's rapidly falling, that is your alt season. I don't think we can turn this into a 15-minute dominance discussion today, but I have lots of dominance videos out there, and there's even dominance discussions in the course on bcbacker.com, full video dedicated to it. But we're not going to go too deep into it. We'd spend 20 minutes on it. And essentially, dominance topping out means that the market has all bled into Bitcoin or bled into Ethereum or bled into the stable coins. And we can see that is historically how the market has behaved. It has 702 retraced all the way back up. The only reason Bitcoin got that high in the first place back in 2019 is because we did not have a stablecoin market. The USDT was a $1 billion market cap. Right now it's an $82 billion market cap. The volatility was horrendous of being pegged to $1 back in 2018, 17, 18, and 19. But stable coins are much more trusted these days than they were back then. We're just talking about USDT, going through in USDC, right? We even had BUSD in there for a lot of time. But as you can see, this is your alt season in 2021. Look at how much the recovery here on Bitcoin dominance has been in relation to 2018 and 19, which I keep pointing to right here. What is this date right here? This is September of 2019. How many people are preaching to us that this is where we are, September of 2019 here, as we are currently right now? And then screaming that Bitcoin dominance is going to keep firing up. Even in this circumstance right here, Bitcoin dominance already topped, right? It's done. It was done. It was already peaked at that point. So there's a lot of contradictory statements that are going on out there. And I think it's kind of just a bunch of baloney that's happening to just push whatever messages that it is, sell products, do whatever. If your belief is that we are here, which we're not, but if your belief is that we're right here, your belief should also be, we're right here. We're done. That Bitcoin dominance has lost its steam. The times that you do see a quick final push back, let's go back and look at these, like in here, right? Let's go look at the dates. Let's not get this wrong. Early 2017. So this is the dominance when Bitcoin leads back up to its all-time high, right? So here's 2014, here's 2015, here's 2016, it crumbles. Here is 2016 still. Now here's 2017. Here's where Bitcoin goes and shoots back to its all-time high. It gets to its all-time high, and then the lights out happen to the Bitcoin dominance as the altcoin market completely outshines it. The biggest rally we've seen in the dominance happen was this moment back in here as Bitcoin went back to its new all-time high. But even so, the top was already in, right? So there you have it. I won't go. I went too far into it than I should have even have, because that was just a total gloss over of dominance. We can go on for forever about it. It's not something that can be done really quickly. Okay. Thank you, Jazz. Oscar Hernandez, my man, PCB. If you compare how the dollar reacted in 2014 after 12 green candles go current move, we got a pullback in the second half of October. Question from a BCB follower, Crypto Prime. It's like saying, so that is like saying we have to go down because the last 7 times we did in September, right? I mean, what are we looking at in 2014 here? I think it's an arbitrary, unimportant data point. So what is this? So we have to understand what this is, right? So this is a back test. So what we're saying, this is 14 candles and then there's a back test. The 14 candles are completely irrelevant. It's the back test, right? So will we back test? Maybe. Does the number of candles, how many candles did you say? 11? 12. Does the 12 green candles mean anything? No, I don't think so at all. It's just, these are the silliest data points, right? Were we supposed to go down in September? Yeah. Did we? No. Will we go 13 green candles? Maybe. Will that destroy the 12? I don't know. I feel it's not baked into the code, if that's the question. That if we go 12 green candles, then we must have 2 pullback candles. That's I don't know anybody who could operate on that. You know what I mean? Like how could anybody in any way operate on that? Is it an interesting observation to say, hey, the last time this happened was way back over here, and it was like just the beginning of something crazy? Sure, that's an interesting observation. But does the 12 candles mean anything? And does that mean we have 2 pullback candles after that? No, definitely not. It means absolutely nothing. But what's interesting is where it is at right now. It's back at a retracement level. And so like to see if it can like find some resistance here and get rejected by the retracement level, that'll be the thing to pay attention to. And can it find a reversal? And has it ever reversed at a 50% retracement before? And it has. Has it every time? No. Right. So like this big thing, it went through all retracements in here, right? All of them got taken. And so that's kind of our bigger picture we're looking at, right? So like we know on our bigger, like that's how we have to kind of zoom out a little bit too, right? So this pulls back 50% and then falls again. This one goes back through all retracement levels. So, and it shows no reaction whatsoever to any retraces. So that's one of those things where I'm like, okay, can we really even use this here? Because it's not reacting. That's why somebody had asked the other day, I was kind of like, they're like, well, what do you think about it going to 108 or 109 because 702 retracements there? Yeah, in a normal asset that was reactionary, sure, but we just don't have that here on the Dow. Really, on the DXY. The only time in here where we can really find significant reaction to some type of fib was right here, which was about 50%. And was that just luck? It's hard to know. So the thing we can look at least right now is, hey, it has gotten back to 50. I have no clue if that is going to be reactionary because there's not a lot of reaction with fibs on the DXY. With different assets, it's like if we put moving averages on here, we're going to find a lot of reaction on moving averages. Let's go to daily time frame. Right. In uptrend, right? When it's aggressive, I guess it's above the 50. Then just violation. Maybe right there, violations. And then, okay, aggressive. So it's holding all of them. Then violation. So do we say, hey, look at all these violations that have happened here. Do we think it's going to come back and hit this and it's going to be reactionary? I don't know, because there's not like a ton of history saying it's like really reactionary. What about weekly time frames? Do we have a lot of reactions on weekly? I'd argue no. Maybe here, but like it's still violating, but maybe it's holding. How about here? Maybe, but like it's not really holding. Maybe here. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe it is. Maybe, right? Here, no. You know, what's interesting is like when you're gonna be like, what is this right here? The 100 and the 50. Typically you will have like, so like kind of like crossing the desert phase or volatility completely dies. And then we'll see these things kind of chill out. And then price eventually finds their way on it, and these will move up, and you'll work your way up them. What's interesting about what's happening here is that you have the 50-week pointing straight down as price is coming up. I'd have to study it more to see if we can find any behaviors on that. But it's not typical behavior, right? You're not typically going to get these two to cross each other while this thing is like soaring. So it is curious to think, is this a violent retrace that's going to turn over on itself quickly? And we'll find out. But yeah, I'll look at that one closer because I don't find fibs to really work on the DXY. The only example we can really look back to was that big one where 50% did matter, and we know we're there today. So you know we can cross our fingers and hope for some success here. And it looks like we are seeing a bounce back happening over there in silver and metals today as the DXY. Everybody, it's red. The DXY is red today. We'll take that as the start of something. Okay. Oscar. So for Crypto Prime, no, I don't find the number 12 of green candles to have any significance in anything. Kevin Miner says, I got the DXY fib correct. High five, I'm learning. Rock on, brother. Sandile. I don't understand your question. Sorry, man. Oscar Hernandez. Please block that Backerson stalker. I don't know who that is. If PTW is in here. That's Oscar's Hernandez's. JJ Jacob, new member, welcome, brother. Oh, wait, member, and then later it says 4 months. Okay, hold on. Diving into XRP. If the Dow hit the 702 without Bitcoin, can Bitcoin hit the 702 without the Dow? Sure, but Bitcoin has never hit an all-time high after a multi-year pullback without the Dow doing it at the same time too. So sure, retraces, bouncing all around, that can all happen. We've seen stuff like this happening. I don't believe the Dow was involved in this one. Let's see if we can compare. DJI, what's the Dow doing during this time period? Dow was pulling back in here, so Dow was... Dow was setting a new all-time high here. How crazy is that? The Dow was setting a new all-time high right here when this retracement did come in here. But even there's never been a time where Bitcoin's gone on a bull run without the Dow Jones. Could it go back into a retracement without the Dow? Sure. There's many times where we could see price in ranges acting on its own, but never has it been a new all-time high. So just caution out there. Uh, let's see. JJ Jacob, there we go. Now it says 4 months. It says, do you believe alts can reach new all-time highs within one? Okay, you literally just said what I said. I'm not saying. You say, you believe alts can reach new all-time highs within 1 month? No, I didn't say that. So basically, if Bitcoin breaks 32K, alts should already be rocking, right? No, I'm not saying that. I literally said, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not going to predict time. Guy Schlush 1. First timer. Thank you, brother. RRPON backer down 13%. I don't know what that is. All right, man. Thank you. XRP bullish. No message. Just says, that's it. Just a super chat. No message. Thank you, XRP bullish. Sheldon Albertson. I can't help but feel that it seems like we'll see big movements in the end of 2023. What are your feelings on the rest of the year? Well, we have concerns here. So I think I'm pretty much portraying everything that I see happening in the markets. I think I've pretty much shown everything. I don't need to answer that in a simple question. You can just look at everything that I talk about every single day, and it kind of gives you an idea on what I'm looking for. I don't feel I want to sit here and answer your time prediction. I think I give you a pretty good synopsis of the things that I see happening in the market, rather than having to put a timestamp on anything. And there's things to watch out for. There's price behavior we know we have followed historically. We'll see if that price behavior reacts. But if something happens and something deviates away from that, and we break down and take out 24.7K, we may be seeing the scary warning signs happening here in the stock market, and that the world is about to burn. So, keeping an eye out for all that stuff. Ben Heller says, BCB, thank you for your awesome work. If 33.6 was the first alarm for the Dow, what level sparks Goblin Doomtown? Sprint to grocery stores, load up on spam, and stock up on dried goods. That's probably a good thing to mention right now. People are not panicked right now, right? I don't think there's any harm, and I'm not going to in any way spark any panic, but, making sure you got your stuff stocked. I don't think there's anything wrong with having your stuff stocked just in case, right? Which I'm always stocked. I'm always prepared. But people will, a move like this would cause extreme behavior. Extreme behavior. So if we took out the next low, right, and we were getting through it fast, right? Like we got through 33.6, we're already all the way down to 33.1. Like we talked about earlier, it's like, okay, well, can you argue that this is one larger impulse, right? This is one flow. But then you take out that there, right? Then you now have another one. Right? You see weakness emerging here. You now see a bear divergence emerging here between these two on the weekly time frame now. I don't know how fast things could go. And I don't know what the scenario will be. I mean, maybe nobody reacts crazy to it at all in regards to toilet paper or paper towels and hand sanitizer. I think my wife's going to kill me if I tell the story, but I have to. During C19, hand sanitizer was hard to come by. One time the grocery store had it, and it said limit of 2 per customer, but it was me and my wife there together. We're like, well, we can get 4. there's 2 of us. And she put 4 in the cart, and you heard an employee at the store come running over going, ma'am, only 2. It's a funny story. We always tell each other. I always say that to her. But yeah, so nothing wrong with having a little bit of water and some toilet paper to back it up. And still, no matter what, I don't think I'm ever going to get spam. I don't think I'm ever getting spam. But yeah, again, so it's like a confluence of things. Like stock market, I'm pretty concerned about the stock market. Is if we right now, I'm already really concerned about the stock market. Really, really, really concerned. I wish I had more shorts open on the stock market. I definitely don't have very much money in the stock market right now. So like, I'm not worried about taking like big losses. I don't have a retirement account in the stock market. I don't have a 401k that's tied to this stuff. So I'm not worried about like taking extreme losses in here. I do wish I had bigger short positions open at this point. I did have some open. I closed them, but I wish I had some bigger ones open right now. Very, very little open right now. That's kind of the only regret I have right now is I don't have enough puts open on Dow. But if we took out this level right here, this 32.6, 32.5, I just think it's a very, very hard argument to say this thing's got anything left in it. And that serious consequences are on the way for the stock market. You know, I mean, look at it. Do you see it? You see the similarities in there? You know, and we're talking about all this stuff early. So all you clowns out there who are going to be crying to your mom, why didn't you say anything, BCB? We're saying it, and we're saying it from way up here. Caution. You know, the thing that will, I'm already very concerned about the stock market currently right now. Very concerned about it. This is not looking pretty. And it's going to look even uglier. Probably if we take out that next low at 32.5. Take out 32.5, it probably gets really ugly. And then as it comes to crypto, you know, things are holding up okay. Again, it's all the same story for crypto. And if Bitcoin takes out 24.8, I don't have a clear path of seeing optimism. You know, maybe things break down, maybe bases form and things get, you know, build their way and things can turn around at some point. But as of right now, if we took out 24.7, I don't see a path of optimism forward. The good news is it's still fine right now. There's nothing screaming worry for Bitcoin right now. But that does come on a break of 24.7. And we have to be cautious of those things because we see the behavior happening here in the stock market. Right? So my worry is already in for the stock market. And we're not there yet for crypto. But we'll see. Again, it's very clear rules. You take out 24.7 on Bitcoin. All these people call in for 20K. These in 12K. These people are bullish on Bitcoin. They have no clue. It is likely a devastation doom town for Bitcoin. You're not going to be. If you buy 12K, I'm gonna bet you'll be holding it all the way down to 3 if you buy it at 12. So, all right. Let's brighten up a little bit, right? Either way, I mean, we're watching some serious stuff happen over here in the stock market. Time to be cautious, right? All right. You can see DXY still sitting right there. DXY now slightly in the green again today. Dow Jones down 376. Not good signs for the Dow Jones, but somehow, some way, crypto is holding up okay through all of this. Just absolutely mind-boggling that it still is holding up okay through all of this craziness over here in the stock market. But thank you, Ben. That was Ben Heller. Now I have Ben Davenport. Says, could Dow Jones Industrial Average be filling the gap from June 1st? Thanks, BCB. You're the man. Just structurally, I'm not gonna think that it is. Pray to God. But I mean, if you start taking out 32.5, yikes. Oscar Hernandez says, hit the like for Digital Taco Tuesday. Oscar, thank you very much. Okay, I don't know why this didn't show up on my screen, but I saw it come through. Santiago, my brother, I saw the big super chat you threw out there, man. It's not showing up in my list. I don't know why it isn't in here. Let's see if it's over here on this one. my man, you're too kind. I appreciate it. And I thought I would eventually get to it, but it's not in my list. I don't know what happens to YouTube when that occurs. But that was monstrous, brother, and I'm grateful to you. Thank you, man. And again, always, he has no message. No message. Alpha Beta Soup. If the fun is truly over, then you know we only have one choice: Aliens, a podcast. Yes, and then we will have to have sponsors for that show. So what will we have? We'll probably hire tinfoil companies, radio frequency companies, Faraday cage builders. I'm sure we could find sponsors. Alpha Beta Soup, my brother. Thank you, man. TXMC Trades on Twitter. Follow him. Alpha Beta Soup here on YouTube. Zach. Anyone looking at Pulse Chain, PRS is a top project over there. Man, thank you for the super chat. I don't know. I'm not really right now. But man, thank you very much. Very generous. Thank you. Andrew Handelsman says, this time is different. We'll see, man. We'll see. This time is different. I think this time it could be different from what everybody expects. You know, we'll see. Remember, should be caution out there right now. Do not let your guard down. Keep an eye on stuff right now. I don't think it's a time to be just sitting idly by, not paying attention. It feels like an important time in markets right now. For reals. For reals. And if this chart doesn't say it, I just lost you. Where are you? If this chart doesn't say it, you know, it should. So, okay. Andrew, thank you. What are we at? We're an hour and 21 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for the support. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in today. Watch out. We're going to see if this thing can find some way to reverse in here. Are we on the path of Doomtown for the stock market? If so, you saw it here. You got to watch it all happen live. And yikety-yiketies. But thank you all so much for tuning in today. Fortunately, crypto is holding up okay during the madness over there in the stock market. We'll tune in within it again tomorrow, of course, and see how it is going. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much we got over 800 likes today. We'll see if we can get to 1,000. I appreciate it. Any other updates? That's it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.